World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Nice. It's really good. I really recommend it.
It's like home.
Everything's perfect.
It's absolutely delicious.
It was really, really nice.
Superbly marinated.
The customer service is amazing.
My favorite Asian food in Bangkok now.
It's genuinely the best, most filling meal I've ever eaten in my life.
The most authentic place to come for Filipino street food, spoon and rice.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlon. Wow, Joshua, you made it. Thanks
I made it.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Mal.
You have a little bit of an internet connection problem today, so we'll just see if that can be sorted out in the background. In the meantime, okay, you're back now. In the meantime, welcome to Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlon. I'm really pleased to be joining you again. I've had some health issues this week in that I had an operation just a couple of days ago, so please bear with me. But I still wanted to go ahead and bring the show to you for another exciting week. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. This is probably maybe the 55th episode that we've done. We started this journey last summer with thanks to our sponsors and partners. I'd especially like to thank World Remit once again for being with us on this journey, as well as Spoon and Rice and Comfort Healthcare. I'm really, really pleased once again to be joined by Kimmy, who's going to be our first guest today. And that's going to be absolutely awesome. And then we're also going to be joined by Franzy, who's another one of our dear friends who's been helping out with the show, and also Servatius as well, or Servatius is going to be joining us as well. So without much further ado, I'd like to introduce Kimberly Balacano. How are you doing, Kim? How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. First of all, can you tell us this amazing news about your collab? It's doing very well, right?
Yes. So on Spotify and on YouTube, I have released a new single/cover of Just Give Me a Reason. And it includes a very special collab with a dear friend of mine, Gaia. And you probably all know her from The Voice. And it was a lot of fun just recording and working with her, and I hope you will all be able to listen to it and enjoy it.
Exactly. You know, I'm really pleased about that collaboration. I think I kind of got you guys on the show together. If everyone doesn't know, Gaia Misha's from The Voice Kids season 4, and I have no doubt that she's watching right now. So I'd like to say hello to her and her family and her parents for being so supportive as well. You know, I love to be involved in showcasing talent. We have some incredible singer-songwriters coming up in the next few episodes as well. How many streams have you had so far, Kim?
I haven't actually checked.
I think about 20,000 plus, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That's absolutely
It's
awesome.
really very much appreciated. Thank you all so much.
So how does it work? I don't know much about Spotify. What do people need to do? Do they just go online? Can you tell us where they can find the song?
So if you go to Spotify, you can easily sign up for your own account with an email. And if you just search for my name, so Kimberly Malacanao, or you can also search for Gaya's name as well, and then you'll be able to just simply click on, you can simply click on our profiles, and I'm sure that the song will just pop up.
Okay, and does people sort of need to download it? What about if they want to have it on their favorites? How do they go about doing that?
So if you're on YouTube, you can simply just click like on the video. But on Spotify, I believe you can, there's a setting where you can add the song to a playlist. So if you create your own playlist of your favorite songs, you can just, I think there's a kind of plus button. I haven't really experimented with Spotify much, but yeah, I think you can just simply add it to a playlist and there you go. You can listen to it whenever you want.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. We're going to join you again later on in the show as well to talk more about any other collaborations that you have planned. But in the meantime, I believe you're going to be singing for us. You're at your piano now. That's awesome. So here we are with Kimmy's going to be singing for us. Take it away.
So I'm sure you all know this song by now, but I'm going to be singing 1,000 Years. I hope you all enjoy it.
Hearts beats fast, colors and promises. How to be brave? How can I love when I'm afraid to fall? But watching you stand alone, all of my doubt suddenly goes away somehow. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. Time stands still, beauty in all she is. I will be brave, I will not let anything take away. Standing in front of me, every breath, every hour has come to this. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. All along I believed I would find you. Time has brought your heart to me. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you so much. That was really incredible. Please greet your viewers. You have a lot of people watching you right now. Can you just go ahead and greet them?
Oh, hi everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. It means so much that you've come to watch today. And I hope you will all enjoy the rest of the show with all of Malcolm's other guests today. And yeah, I hope you'll stay safe and keep on smiling.
Thanks so much. And we know you're going to do another exciting song for us during the show. So until then, thank you so much for really taking the time and trouble. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome, guys. So thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to have some really exciting guests right now. We're going to be joined by my co-host, Joshua DeBatos, who should be standing by.
I am here, Mal.
Perfect.
Good evening. Good afternoon, everybody.
So it's over to you now. I'm going to take a quick short break, and we'll let you go ahead, and we'll just introduce our first guests. And then when we get into the conversation, then it'll be over to you, so no pressure.
All right, no worries. And thank you so much, Mal. I know you're recuperating right now, so take some rest, and we'll take care of the show. All right, so now here at Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan, it's a very special episode today, the 28th of March. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. So we have a guest. With no further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest, who also has a Pusong Pinoy, and also together with Franzy, we also have a special guest who will be sharing his stories and how he is Pusong Pinoy. So let's welcome our guest on the show, Franzy.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Franzy. And we also have, how would you like me to call you? Do you have a nickname, Sebas?
So my name is Servatius, but people just call me Serv. SERV. For easy, yeah.
All right. So, Serv, good day. And Francy, good day. How are you doing? How are you both doing?
Mabuti naman.
Mabuti naman. So, pretty much, you know how to speak Tagalog, is that right?
Oo, kunti. So, nagsasalita ako kunti Tagalog.
All right. So we'll have a mix of both Tagalog and English in this conversation today. Mm-hmm. So thank you for joining. Tell us about your story. To everybody who tuned in today, they might be interested to know who Serv is and who Franzy is. So tell us more about your story, Franzy and Serv.
All right. Yes. So I'm really very pleased to have met Servi in India back in 2019. So yes, 2019 I went to India to visit Mother Teresa's place, and there, while I was having my breakfast of chai tea and banana, suddenly there was this tall Caucasian man who approached me and asked me where I'm from. So I was like surprised, and I said, "Oh, I'm from the Philippines." And then he started to sing in Tagalog. Like, can you sing that right now, Servas?
Say it again. Sing. Oh no, but to say
Yeah.
like kung makilala kayo. That's the first thing I said to you,
Yes.
I think. So I said, ikinagagalak kong makilala kayo, Francy.
Yeah, so he did say, he sang the song Ikinagagalak kong makilala kayo.
No, that's embarrassing.
Kamusta po kayo?
Oh, yeah.
So,
do you want me to sing it?
Yeah.
Okay, so for me to try to say ikinagagalak kong makilala kayo, I made up this song to make me learn it better. So I was like making up these ways to kind of, try and say it perfectly. So I said, start singing ikinagagalak kong makilala kayo, kamusta po kayo, kayo. And I started singing that constantly, and eventually I got it perfect, and now all my friends are starting to say it as well because I kept singing it randomly. So everybody that's around me, like for the past few years I've been studying Tagalog, now all know the song Ikinagagalak kong makilala kayo, kamusta po kayo.
So ikinagagalak
Yes,
for
yes.
the sake of those who are tuned in, ikinagagalak, it's an honor. It's an honor to meet you, and it's an honor to have you both on the show. So how long have you both been together, Franzy and Serv?
Yeah, so we've
So
been friends for 2 years now. Is that right, Servatius? So
yeah,
2019.
it's India. Yeah.
Mm.
So from India, and then now, are you both located in the UK?
No.
I am
So
in the
I
UK. I'm in Kent, and yeah, Servatius is in Ireland.
in Ireland. Yeah, in Limerick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're having quite a bit of difficulty with Serv's connection, but this
Oh,
is
really?
going to be very interesting. So tell us about that time in India. Like since that 2 years ago, since that time 2 years ago, have you already met in person a couple of times?
Yeah. So I think it was the same year as India, 2019, that Francie came to Ireland, and we decided to meet up with her. She was in Ireland for a day, and we decided to meet up with her for in Dublin, so the capital of Ireland in Dublin, and we just had a nice night out, and there was like an all Ireland final going on as well. So it was a bit of a Irish experience for Francie as well. And last year, we actually went to Portugal when the coronavirus cases were very, very low. So we decided we were originally supposed to go to the Philippines. So I was obviously gutted that we didn't go. So and we were like so excited. This is way before like we knew anything about lockdowns and everything. And we were so excited. And then we thought, okay, maybe we can go on holiday this year, you know. And then we saw as the cases in Ireland, especially, they went really low, like super low. And then in Portugal, the cases were super low as well. So we were like, well, the only option we can do is maybe go to Portugal. So in the end, we all decided, yeah, let's go to Portugal. And that's the last time I think I saw you, Francie, in person.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
Nice. That's really nice. And despite of what's going on, the pandemic is stopping, let's say, people meeting together or meeting each
Yeah.
other or reuniting with friends. We still have this connection through the internet. And Serv, tell us about your background. Like, what do you do, and what have you been doing so far? Like being Pusong Pinoy. Tell us more about it.
So I'm originally from the Netherlands. I moved to Ireland when I was 5 years old. So I've been living in Ireland now 19 years. I grew up basically Irish. So my parents I'm fluent in Dutch. I speak Irish. I speak a bit of Tagalog and a tiny bit of French, but I wouldn't say I'm amazing at French. But so I basically I'm practically Irish. I can sound. Some people say I sound American. Some people say I'm sound Irish, and then others say I'm just a pure neutral accent. But so I went to school here in primary and secondary school, so high school and kindergarten, as some people would say. And I went to college. I studied film and video production. I did what I got out of it was wedding photography.
Yep.
And then afterwards, I was like, okay, this job is fun, doing weddings and all, but it wasn't really a stable job. So I thought, right, I must do something else. So for a while, I worked on a stud with horses. So it's basically horse racing. And I took care of the adult horses and their foals. So it was basically more for take care for baby foals. So that was last year. And then this year, September, mag-aral ako ng gurong na hiyapagkriya at Kasasayan. I don't know if that's how you say history teacher. Kasasayan. Gurong na Kasasayan. So that's what I'm going to do this year. So I want to become a teacher in geography and in history.
I'm really impressed. You know, I'm really loving the show today. I'm kind of dipping in and out today as well, but you know, I'm really impressed. And you know what, Servatius, you've inspired me. I'm going to announce this now officially on Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlon, in that I'm having my first Tagalog lesson on Monday.
That sounds really interesting.
I've actually booked a lesson from a new app which has come out, a language app. and it allows you to book lessons online. And it's just a few pounds per lesson, but I've hooked myself up with a teacher from the Philippines who'll give me my first lesson. You know, I can speak a little bit of Tagalog, but it's very much broken. I can understand it more than I can speak it, and I'm very envious of you. So I felt, why am I not doing this myself? So hopefully we can join each other on another show, maybe in a few weeks.
Yeah, of course.
And maybe we can do the whole show in Filipino. In the meantime, we're going to go to a break really shortly, and we're going to hear another song from the amazingly talented Kim. But before we do, I just wanted to ask, what connection do you feel you have with the Philippines? What's inspired you? How did you learn to speak Filipino? I'm really interested in your story.
Okay. So, pumunta ako sa... Oh, wait, I was going to speak...
Carry on, go in
Tagalog.
Filipino.
Okay.
Let's see if I can keep up.
Pumunta ako sa Pilipinas sa 2017 kasama kaibigan ko si Joanna. So what I basically said there was I went to the Philippines.
I've got it. Let me translate it for you. So basically, the first time you went to the Philippines was 2017, and you went with your friend Joanna. Is that about right?
Oh, yeah.
You carry on, and I'll translate. We'll play a little game.
Okay. Sa Tagalog or English?
Tagalog. Oh.
Okay. Sa Pilipinas, sorry. I have this taught. I had like a revision in my head of how I speak Tagalog and all that, but I kind of lost it the last few.
No, go ahead. Let's keep this going, because I think this is quite fun. People are kind of really getting into this. So let me try as well. So you start. Ask me a question, and I'll try and speak in Filipino.
Okay. Kinagagala ko makilala kayo, Kamala. Kumusta ka?
Okay lang. Ikaw, kumusta ka na?
Mabuti naman. Ano ang pangalan mo?
Malcolm. Ikaw, anong pangalan mo?
Ang pangalan mo si Servatius. Ang pangalan ko si Servatius.
Anong probinsya mo sa Pilipinas when you went there? Anong probinsya?
Ano?
Provincia. What province did you visit in the Philippines? Is that right, Joshua?
You guys are doing great.
Pupunta ako sa Manila, Antique, sa Valderrama Antique, Calibo, Porto Galera, at Tanay sa Rizal.
Wow, you're a man after my own heart. You know, just wanted to say hi to Joel Ramos, my brother-in-law, who's watching right now. And you know, I'm really impressed. You're really a man after my own heart. But the thing is, we're both really almost grieving right now that we can't travel, and of course, we can't go back home to the Philippines. It's something that I find very, very sad. And you know, it's. I hope we can get through this. Franzy, when was the last time you were able to travel? And hopefully, you guys can go to the Philippines again soon.
Oh yes, definitely. I've always been really praying for that, and the cancellation of our supposedly holiday last year to the Philippines. So I was supposed to go there with Servas and his family, some of his siblings. So eventually it was canceled because of the pandemic. So yeah, hoping it would happen soon. And the last time I've been to the Philippines was in 2015, I guess.
It's been a long time.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
So guys, what we're going to do right now, we're just going to quickly go to a quick break, and then we're going to hear another song from Kim, which we're really looking forward to, really enjoying the show today. So we'll see you when we get back.
Hi, my name's Jane Walker. I'm the founder and the CEO of the Purple Community Fund. We work with some of the poorest children and families in the Philippines. We run an integrated service plan from education, health, nutrition, social intervention, livelihood workshops, right the way through to business startups. And our goal is really to see as many Filipino families as we possibly can help to have a better and more sustainable and safe life. I have this great pleasure of welcoming you to Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan. And I've known Malcolm for a very long time, and he has been a massive supporter of the Purple Community Fund. In fact, Malcolm's been a massive supporter of pretty much everything Filipino. His drive, his passion and his energy is just absolutely admirable. He is a voice for the Filipino community in Britain. He supports all up-and-coming bands and charities that are doing work in the Philippines, and I know you are going to really enjoy this show.
The spice is nice.
It's really good. I really recommend it.
It's like home. Everything's perfect.
It's absolutely delicious.
It was really, really nice.
Superbly marinated.
The customer service was amazing.
My favorite Asian food in Bangkok now.
It was genuinely the best, most filling meal I've ever eaten in my life.
The most authentic place to come for Filipino street food, spoon and rice.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
And we are back here at Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan. And just before we go back to our guests for today, I'd like to call back on the show Kimberly to give us a rendition of another song that she will play for everybody. So a very talented young artist, Kimberly. So let's put her back on the show.
Hi!
Hey, Kim.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, and nice to have you again. Nice to see you again, Kim.
See you too.
So you will play a song for us for this cut?
Yeah, so I'm going to be singing another song from one of my favorite movies ever, The Greatest Showman, and it's called Tightrope, and I hope that you will enjoy it.
Yes, so let's have Kim for this next song.
You can start investing.
No. Sorry, technical issues. Let's go. Some people long for a life that is simple and tied with a ribbon. Some people won't sail the sea 'cause they're safer to follow what's written, but I'd follow you to the great unknown. Up to a world we call our own.
we promised to never let go. We're walking a tightrope high in the sky. We can see the whole world down below. We're walking a tightrope, never sure, never know how far we could fall. But it's all an adventure that comes with a breathtaking view. Walking a tightrope with you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. With you. With you. Mountains and valleys and all that will come in between. Desert and ocean, you draw me in, and together we're lost in a dream. Waves and motions, why risk it all just to be with you? And I'd risk it all for this life we choose. Hand in my hand, and you promise to never let go. Walking a tightrope high in the sky, we can see the whole world down below. We're walking a tightrope, never sure. Will you catch me if I should fall? Well, it's all an adventure that comes with a breathtaking view. Walking a tightrope with you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. With you. With you. With you. Yay, thank you. I can't hear you. Hang on.
I think I was on mute. So
Yeah.
that was an awesome song, Kim. Thank you. And we also have comments from your fans who are tuned in today. So we have Savannah Moore saying, "Go, go, go, Kim." So others who are also tuned in, such a wonderful song. That is beautiful, Kim, according to Jerry T. Janet Lino also said, "Good job." So thank you so much, Kim, for that wonderful rendition. And I believe we will have you again a little while in this show for another song.
Yes, there will be another song coming up, so stay tuned.
Okay, stay tuned for another song from Kim. And here we are still live here at Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan. And we still have our special guest today, Mal.
Yeah, sorry I keep on ducking in and out of today's job. You know, I think I'm going to now call this the Pusong Pinoy show with Joshua the Batos because you're doing such an awesome job. It's really fun today. You know, it's really nice to have Kimmy back, and it's really nice to have our special guests too, Franzy and Servatius. But let's go ahead and let's just talk to Franzy right now, and let's find out a little bit about her and her story. Franzy, when did you come to the UK and what anong trabaho dito sa UK?
Yes, Malcolm. So I came to the UK in 2014, and I've been working with the NHS as a nurse since then.
Awesome. What particular speciality, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh yeah, I'm working in the operating department, so I am a theater nurse.
Wow. I could ask you loads of questions now, live on air. Oh my God. You probably saw online. So I had an operation a couple of days ago on my kidney. And apparently when I was coming round, I was very agitated. So they had to put both sides of the bed up. So I don't really know what that means too much. Otherwise, probably bashing my head. What's it like when somebody comes out of an anesthetic, you know? And tell me a little bit about that. And what do you do? And how long do you keep people asleep for when they're sort of post-surgery?
Yes, actually, it depends on the consultant anesthetist how long they want you to be asleep. So, of course, they want you to be asleep for the whole duration of the procedure. But the surgeon would also give them a cue on when they would want you to be wake up. So it's like 5 minutes before the procedure ends. The anesthetist would start giving you drugs to wake you up. So it actually differs on patient how they will react on the anesthetic. So some people would wake up for a longer time. Others would be quickly awake. So yeah, like you said, you've been moving quite a lot on your bed, and others would be like, when they wake up, they would feel really so good, like they had the best sleep of their lives. That's what most patients were saying. So they would say, "Oh, what did you give me? Can you give that to me again?" So
It's really funny actually, because I remember them calling me literally, and I've had about 3 or 4 operations now. I think this is my 4th operation. And I remember them kind of calling me like, Malcolm. And the funniest bit was when I actually went into the anesthetic room, and there was a Filipino nurse there who said to me, I said hi, and he kind of knew who I was. And he kind of said to me that the whole team is Pinoy. So other than the surgeon and the other consultant, it was a Pinoy team. So I'm like, okay, this is great. Normally, I know you see me on Facebook, but you might see a little bit more of me than perhaps. That was a bit crazy, kind of being kind of, but you know what? I've got to say, I'm incredibly impressed. I'm really thankful for our Filipino nurses, but not only that, everybody in the NHS. It's such a diverse organization. And I know many of us owe our lives to nurses from other countries and doctors, consultants from across the world. It's such a dynamic team. And I'm very grateful, in spite of COVID and everything else, my surgery went ahead, and I know there's like a massive backlog. I think it's like 450,000 people still waiting for surgery. So I guess it's a pretty busy time for you. What can you say about the NHS? Because I know in the Philippines, I know it's so much harder. What can you say about that?
Yes, I think the NHS had quite a very difficult time, of course. However, because of the cooperation of all the, like the management, the nurses, our consultant surgeons, to our cleaners and all that, everyone just really contributed, and because of all their efforts, I think we've been able to pass through the most difficult time. And yeah, like now my hospital is has already started to go back to normal as much as possible.
No, thank you. Thanks for that. And I'm really grateful to what you guys are doing. And I'm sure you would agree, Serv, it's a really awesome team of people. And I know we're very grateful to our Filipino nurses and cleaners and all the other areas, occupational therapists, our Filipino doctors here in the UK. You probably have some Filipino doctors over there in Ireland. I think there's 1 or 2. I think we have 1 consultant surgeon here, but I think you probably have some more where you are.
Yeah. And like my brother was in hospital 2 years ago. It's a funny story. So he was in hospital for funny, but there's a funny side to it. So he had a lung problem. Unfortunately, he had pneumonia, and he said when he was in hospital that there used to be Filipino nurses helping him all the time. And early in the show, I sang that Ikinagagala ko makilala kayo, kumusta po kayo, kayo, kayo song. He sang that to the Filipino nurses, and they literally could not believe what they were hearing. And then my brother was like, yeah, that's the only thing I know, because my brother always sang it. So they were all really excited to meet me. Unfortunately, I never met them because I wasn't allowed to go to the hospital that much. So, but it's just a funny story that my brother had with a bunch of Filipino nurses.
That's nice. And of course, what I absolutely love as well is, I know you would agree with me, you know, Filipino nurses, they'll be sharing food, they'll be so hospitable. But I must say, I can say that the same about Irish nurses. You know, through my job before in the ambulance service, I worked with many Irish nurses in terms of handing over patients, in terms of escorting patients, and they are very much family orientated. And even to the point that Irish nurses, I knew one Irish paramedic who spent half the year working on a farm, and then she came over to the UK for the rest of the year for her job as like a paramedic in the ambulance service. And it's very much the same with the Irish people as well, isn't it? I'm half Irish myself, in that they would migrate, if you like, from the countryside and come along to the towns to work, the cities to work. And they're very much family orientated as well in terms of sharing food. And they have quite a similar attitude, if you like, to Filipino nurses. And I'm sure you'd both agree.
Yeah. Irish people are super welcoming. You probably have never you've never met this Irish person before, but they act like they've known you since forever. That's how they act. And they're so welcoming. They invite you to your house. You've never met them before. If you're standing out in the cold, they're like, oh, come in for a cup of tea and wait inside, that kind of thing. They're very welcoming. They're very, very, and yeah, they're very, how do you say it? Family, they're very close to each other as well. So, and everyone kind of knows each other. That's the funny thing. Everyone kind of knows each other. And somehow they're all like fifth cousins or sixth cousins, or I felt like I was the only one that wasn't related in school when I was back in secondary school. That everyone had at least one cousin in school. It was so funny. It was really, really funny.
It's awesome. Joshua, over to you.
Yeah, I was actually interested if you have seen the similarity with the Irish culture, like how things are in Ireland with the people in the Philippines. Like when you were in the Philippines, Servat, were there similarities with the culture?
Yes. So Irish people are very welcoming, and Filipinos are also super welcoming. Irish people are more welcoming on the terms, and if you talk to them, they're super nice, and they'll help you no matter what situation you're in. Whereas Filipinos, they just automatically just talk to you, and they were shy. I would say they're shy, but they still weren't shy at the same time. I don't know how to say it. They were like really excited to talk to me and all that. But with the difference between Irish and Filipino culture, there probably would be, but in the sense of personalities and all that, they're very similar, because Irish people are very welcoming and Filipinos are super welcoming too. I think Filipinos are maybe a little bit more welcoming, but yeah, it's just there's just a tiny bit in that sense of culture.
Nice. And pretty much you've seen a lot of those based on your experience here in the Philippines. And probably what was that most memorable experience that you've had when you were in the Philippines, when you visited the Philippines? And maybe later on I can ask Franz about what she misses the most from the Philippines. So let's just start with Servaz on what was that most memorable experience you had.
My most memorable experience. Well, there's multiple. Like every day in the Philippines, I was there for 6 weeks. Every single day was a new experience. Something new happened, something random, and that's what I really loved about the Philippines. So my favorite thing probably be. So we were in Porto Galera Beach, and this is kind of how I pushed myself further to start learning Tagalog. So coincidentally, at the same time when I was at Porto Galera Beach, I was only there 3 times when I was in Porto Galera. I was there for 3 weeks, and we went to that. It was White Beach. White Beach. We went there 3 times. And one of the times I was there was this guy. He's also a YouTuber called Mikey Bustos, and a lot of you probably are familiar with him. So he actually made a video. I wear speedos, and it's on YouTube as well. But anyway, my two friends, my best friend, she's half Filipino, half Irish, and she's the one I went to the Philippines with. But she knew Mikey Bustos, and I didn't. So I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of awkward because I don't know him. So I was just, hi, that kind of thing. And eventually I found out he's this big YouTuber who does really good videos as well. So I ended up talking to him, and I talked to him for a little bit. It was more my friends that was more interested to talk to him. So I talked to his producer. His name was Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia and me start talking. We actually talked for a very long time, and he was just mentioning that if you start speaking Tagalog, people in the Philippines are going to love you because you it's a foreign person speaking Tagalog, and there's nothing more than Filipinos love seeing a foreign person speaking Tagalog. So that's what probably my favorite time, and obviously all these activities as well, but it's just this really memorable time in the Philippines that just happened to me to be my favorite time.
Well, for sure, if you've met Mickey Bustos, definitely that would be a very memorable experience, knowing Mickey Bustos, who's also very active here in the social media, doing some skits. So, Mal, I guess in your case, Franzy, what was that most, let's say most of the time you've been in the Philippines, what do you miss the most about home?
Yes. Oh, I miss everything about the Philippines. So it's like it's a very different feeling when you wake up in a foreign country, but your heart is always yearning to be somewhere else, which in my case is the Philippines. And I have always been proud about my country. That's why I really feel so grateful that I have met a person like Servatius and Malcolm, who, even if they are not Filipinos, they show their love and appreciation for the country. So, yes. What I miss most about the Philippines is, first one, I have the weather, definitely. Because I'm from Baguio City. Yeah, so, and I worked 1 year in Manila, so I really miss the weather and the festive environment of Manila, the traffic, the pollution, the side vendors, fishbowl, tokneneng, and all that. Isaw, so yeah, chicken intestine. So I miss the food. So every time when I come from work, I always watch the news about the Philippines. So yeah, everything about it, the people especially.
Can I just make a point there? You quite rightly said about the sound, the smell, everything else. For me, that's really, really important. Really, whenever I go back home to the Philippines, particularly if it's in the summer and it's quite a damp, if you like, kind of smell, and it's kind of hot, and it's kind of, these are things that are completely unique. And having been there myself more than about 50 times over the last 30 years, whenever I get stressed in life, whenever I'm going through such a bad time, going to the Philippines, to me, I identify with it from when I was 18. I love that connection, and it's so critical in my life. And, I haven't been able to go now for well over a year, which I find incredibly difficult. So I've resorted to YouTube. There's this guy on YouTube, and Servatius, I hope you've seen him as well. It's called Crypto Traveler. And there's this guy who goes on YouTube, and he goes down the streets and he walks around the different streets of the Philippines to the different resorts. And, it reminds me of home. And, when you see the hustle and bustle of life, the street vendors, the activities that go on, it really resonates with home. And although I can't physically go, I do tend to watch a lot of YouTube videos. Maybe that's a little bit sad in some ways, but it certainly reminds me of home. And I know we're both missing the Philippines so much.
I had the exact same. So when I came back to the Philippines, from the Philippines, back in 2017, it almost felt like I was homesick. I don't know how to describe it. I felt I didn't have the same feeling ever with any of the countries I've been to. It was just the Philippines. I felt like I was homesick and I had to go back. And my mom's like, "What's wrong with you? You're so moody all the time." And I was like, I literally couldn't help it because there's something that drew me to the Philippines. I actually can't explain the feeling I had and or what it was, and that also kind of helped me to learn Tagalog in the end as well. But the smell, the people, there's something about the Philippines. Once you mentioned it, I felt like I could actually smell it. You know, obviously it's my imagination, but I know exactly what you meant by when you were in the Philippines and the smells and
it's the vibrancy as well, isn't it? And the people are so friendly and welcoming, and treat you with such respect, and I think you still have it in Ireland, which is awesome. But in the UK, I think we've lost the ability to connect to our fellow man. When you're walking to work or something, how many people would say, "Hi, how you doing?" or smile at you or just acknowledge you in some way? And whenever I go to a mall in the Philippines, I guess it might be maybe through social media, it's just nice just to have that connection with people, and I absolutely love that. And you people, foreigners, get treated with such love and such respect, and that for me is awesome. I have to say, I am in almost a state of grieving. I know we both are upset that these lockdowns that are happening, and I know they are necessary, particularly in the Philippines right now, because there's a big surge of infections. But for us, it's so hard. It really is, and I'm sure you would agree.
Yeah, 100%.
And for sure.
So I actually like now having this video. I feel like, it's so sickening that I can't go to the Philippines this year as well. Has to be next year.
I think you're right. I think by October, my personal estimate probably is by October and November, they might start allowing foreigners to return again. But on the other hand, now the infections are up. And I know we keep on saying, Joshua, about wearing masks. And again, when I was watching these YouTube videos, I was seeing so many people with their masks down on their chin or on their head or whatever. And I think the thing is also people, I guess, become a little bit complacent. And of course, I'm sure you would agree, Joshua, cases are on the rise. Can you tell us a little bit about the latest, what's happening there in the Philippines right now?
Well, sadly, it is on the rise. Like we're seeing cases peaking at 9,000. I guess in the on the other day, we reached over 9,000 cases in just one day, and that's the highest we've got since we've opened up the activities, like the economy, to everybody who would like to continue with their economic activities. So the situation here now, it's not as gloomy as it was, I guess, when we were in the early parts of this pandemic, because it was pretty much we were in the unknown. Now that we already know like how to protect ourselves, like we know that there's a lot of medicines already available to at least help treat with the treatment of the COVID patients, and we also have a lot of the facilities already, the temporary facilities already available. But still, hearing the news, seeing the news and social media posts of people showing that a lot of our patients couldn't really get into the hospitals because it's full, it's quite alarming. And that's why there is a current lockdown that's reimposed in the NCR. That's for just 1 week. That's starting this Monday, coming
the Holy Week, right?
Yeah, the Holy Week. And actually wanted to, I guess, in your case, Mal, in your side of the world, and as well as Servatius, is it the same as well? Are you seeing some cases rising as well in your part of the world?
So from my opinion is this, and again, this show is not always meant to be about COVID, but for those of us who love the Philippines, we really are keeping an eye on what's happening in the country. And for me, the issue is this, the UK is very busily vaccinating itself, and I'm sure that would apply to other countries in the world. And I believe almost half the entire population of the UK have now been vaccinated, and that's absolutely awesome. I'm really, really pleased to see that. But what's really been my bugbear since the very start is this issue with vaccines. Why is it that the Philippines seems to be kind of second best? You know, why is it that we've got all these vaccines and America have secured all these vaccines, and yet there aren't enough vaccines reaching the Philippines? You know, the situation is there's more than 100 million people in the Philippines, and the Philippines needs 200 million vaccines. And where are they going to get them from? You know, people are complaining about spending in the Philippines and the budget and the loans and everything else. But somebody needs to pay for these vaccines. Somebody needs to pay for this SAP program, these cash incentives to help the Filipino people. And I do worry that although we're vaccinating in the UK, I do worry that we're going to go to all these tourist destinations. We've already seen a Philippine variant of COVID coming from the Philippines back to the UK. I really do worry that, you know, we're never going to get rid of this unless the international community starts vaccinating the world. You know, wherever we are in the UK, we have people from the Philippines, from Africa. Unless we start going out there and vaccinating the world, so the whole world is vaccinated. The problem is, developing countries, if you like, are going to be not vaccinated, and it's really an issue. I believe it's our responsibility. I think it's a crying shame that we're vaccinating our own people, and yet the Filipino healthcare workers particularly, they've gone round the world, and this is not meant to be a political speech, but here we have Filipino healthcare workers who've gone round the world saving us all. Some of them have lost their lives and sacrificed their lives, and yet we're just not providing enough vaccines to them. And I think it's really, really an issue. And again, I'm not supposed to be going on my soapbox today, but I do find it really difficult that the Philippines is not getting the support it needs, is not getting the amount of vaccines that it needs. And I know there's the COVAX, and I know they've received some vaccines, but you're just vaccinating a very small amount of the population. It's up to the UK, it's up to America to be contributing those vaccines to help our dear friends in the Philippines during this very difficult time.
I agree, Mal. And at this point, I guess all we can do is just to really create awareness, at least for the time being, that vaccines haven't really reached our shores, like all those that are to be procured. I guess our goal is to really encourage everybody to get vaccinated. Whatever vaccine comes to your table, the soonest and the first vaccine to come is the best vaccine for you. So I guess we're not losing hope, Mal. Despite of the rising cases, it's not just NCR. I guess for Franzy and Sebas and all those tuned in today, despite of the rising cases in NCR, we're seeing on the other side the other parts of the country seeing reduced number of cases. Like in some cities in the Philippines, like for example Davao City, they've recorded 0 case for a day this week, one of the days this week, and the other cities as well who are managing it well. So it's pretty much on the contrast between NCR and what's the progress as well. So I guess what we want to say to everybody tuned in today, if you have relatives in the Philippines, continue encouraging them to practice the minimum health protections that's been set, which is to just protect yourself, wearing your mask, your face shields, washing your hands, keeping the distance, because that's the only way that we can fight this pandemic without the vaccine.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much. Again, I've gone really off on a tangent today, but we all love the Philippines and we all want to return home soon. And of course, we're not able to at the moment because of the situation there. And all we can do is give our prayers, our support, and voice out our concerns. We're going to go to another break right now, our final break today. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by Kim once again. Thanks, guys.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
The spice is nice.
It's really good. I really recommend it.
It's like home. Everything's perfect.
It's absolutely delicious.
It was really, really nice.
Superbly marinated.
The customer service is amazing.
My favorite Asian food in Bangkok.
It's genuinely the best, most filling meal I've ever eaten in my life.
The most authentic place to come for Filipino street food, spoon and rice.
Hi guys, welcome back. You know, I've just seen this post, Kim, from your dad about the latest streams of your collaboration with Gaya Misha, and we have you have 36,590 streams so far, which is absolutely awesome. So again, to all the fans of Gaya out there, to all your fans, congratulations. Thank you for what you're doing. You know, it's awesome that Gaya's in the Philippines, you're in the UK, but you were able to join together, which I think is great.
Yes, I think it is simply amazing as well.
You're going to sing for us once more. Thank you so much. Do you want to go ahead and introduce your next song?
So this is actually a pretty new song. It came out, I believe, 3 months ago. And it's called At My Worst by Pink Sweats. I hope you will enjoy it.
Can I call you baby? Can you be my friend? Can you be my lover up until the very end? Let me show you love, well I don't pretend. Stick by my side even when the world is giving in. Don't you worry, I'll be there whenever you want me. I need somebody who can love me at my worst. No, I'm not perfect, but I hope you see my worth. Cause it's only you, nobody knew I put you first. And for you, girl, I swear I'll do the worst. If you stay forever, let me hold your hand. I can feel those places in your heart no one else can. Let me show you love, oh I don't pretend. I'll be right here, baby, you know I'll sink or swim. Don't you worry, I'll be there whenever you want me. I need somebody who can love me at my worst. No, I'm not perfect, but I hope you see my worth. Cause it's only you, nobody knew I put you first. And for you, girl, I swear I'll do the worst. I need somebody who can love me at my worst. No, I'm not perfect, but I hope you see my worth. Cause it's only you, nobody knew I put you first. And for you, girl, I swear I'll do the worst.
Yay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kim. That was just such a wonderful song, and people can still follow you through your social media accounts. So if you could share that to those watching or tuned in today.
So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is basically just my name, Kimberly now. And you can also go follow my Facebook page and follow me on Spotify as well. And there may be a chance that there will be another live stream coming up, so make sure to check out my Facebook page for that. Thank you all so much for watching.
All right, great. Definitely those who are tuned in today and your followers will definitely not miss that live stream that's coming up. And don't forget your Spotify, YouTube, and your Facebook page, Kim Balacanao. So thank you so much, Kim. And right at this point, Mal, we've already reached an hour since we started, and it didn't feel like an hour. It felt like just the past 10 minutes. I think you're on mute, Mal.
I'm not. I'm not. I keep on having to go away again and come back again. So, but I've still managed to kind of be here for today's show, and I'm very, very grateful. Let's go ahead once more to join Servatius and Franzy again, and just if you guys, I'm very grateful. As I said, I've just come out of hospital a couple of days ago. Been quite a difficult few days, but this show really cheers me up, and I really do appreciate you guys being on it. And it brings back memories and connects with the Philippines. And I'm very grateful. I'm sure you guys have enjoyed it as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes, thank you, Malcolm, for inviting us on your show. It's really a pleasure to be here, and yeah, finally I've met you and Joshua virtually. Thank you very much.
This is the thing, everyone has to meet virtually. I remember actually getting dressed and going out to an event, maybe to Bar FM or whatever it may be. And we can't do that anymore. And that's such a crying shame. But I hope and pray that we get back to normality, if you like, as soon as possible.
Yes, definitely. And that would not be possible without everybody's cooperation. And for sure, Servatius and Mal has shared so great things about the Philippines, the smell, the atmosphere. And those who are tuned in today may be wondering, what are these two talking about? I want to see that as well for myself. And we want to be there. We want you guys to be back here in the Philippines and your friends as well, Mal.
You need to visit. I have a group on Facebook, More Fun in the Philippines, has about 12,000 members. I've had it for more than 10 years, and people would post travel-related tips there, and maybe some of the tour operators would post there as well. So please go ahead and join the group. Please also follow the Philippine Department of Tourism. I understand that domestic tourism in the Philippines has pretty much reopened. The fact is that the Philippines needs us to visit resorts. The Philippines needs us to support tourism in terms of locals. We can't go as foreigners, but what we can do is encourage all our Filipino friends to maybe visit internally. Traveling from the UK is probably not a good idea right now. But of course, those people in the Philippines, I guess you should still be locally supporting that industry. And I'm sure you would agree, Josh.
Definitely. I've traveled the countryside for the entire, at least for the most part of March, and I've seen how great the Philippines is. Again, as a Filipino, I'm still surprised to see such amazing places. So for those watching today, don't hesitate to just make a plan. There's a holiday coming. Make a plan. Visit all our tourist spots here in the Philippines.
But of course, take precautions and wear your mask,
precaution, of course.
Social distancing, etc. Well, it's been an awesome episode. What are you guys up to now, Franzy and Servo? What are you guys up to nowadays, and how are you sort of coping with the current situation?
So at the moment, Ireland is still in lockdown. So we've been in lockdown. So last year in March, the end of March, we went into lockdown. Then we were in lockdown until June, I think. And then we were kind of okay. Then cases started climbing again around October. We went into lockdown. Before Christmas, we went out of lockdown. And literally a few days after Christmas, we went into lockdown again. And ever since then, we have been in lockdown. So we won't hear until the 5th of April what the story is with Ireland. But I'm hoping we're going somewhere, because it feels like we're not going anywhere. It literally feels like we're just stuck. And that's the problem.
I think we all understand the need for lockdown, but I know we've also issues like mental health. I have to say, me personally, life can be very stressful. And what I look forward to every year is to be able to go on a holiday. book a
Yeah.
holiday, go to the Philippines, go out to a restaurant, go to the theater, and we can't do those things right now, and it's incredibly hard. And I know particularly for young people, and again, I'm not going to get on my political soapbox, I do support lockdowns, but I know I've noticed your wall as well. I know lockdown can also affect people's mental health as well.
Exactly.
Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. It's been an awesome episode. I'd like to thank my technical team, Robbie, and everyone behind the tech of the show. I'm not really tech orientated. I'm pleased that we're able to put it off this week. You know, I'm very grateful to Joshua Debatos again for being our guest host and for joining us once again. Josh, any final words from you?
I guess just to encourage everybody, like what Servatius shared, they're also going into lockdowns. In the case here in the Philippines, some people are saying that the rest of the world is moving forward and going back to normalcy. It's not the case with what we've shared now. But the key here is that for those who are tuned in, if you have Filipino friends, Filipinos tuned in today, we are still in the pandemic and we are still in an uncertain situation. All we can do is to really protect ourselves by following the simple protections that we are advised to do, wearing of face shields and face masks properly, and just really following the washing of hands and the distance. At this point, we will definitely get out of the pandemic if we just actually cooperate. And I guess that's how I would like to end the show, with that message that we will move forward if we follow all the instructions and all the safeguards there are to get out of this pandemic. So Mal, thank you so much for having me. We also have Franzy and Servatius. Thank you so much for joining us in the show today. So Mal,
thank you, guys. You know, we had a quick we tried to bring Kim back onto camera, but she was busily playing away the piano again. It's nice to see you, Kim. Kim, please greet all your fans once more. Please go ahead and greet all your fans once more who are watching you.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed watching the show today, and I hope you all stay safe and just make sure to keep on smiling.
Thanks so much, everybody, to everyone on the show today. I'm most grateful to you guys. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again in future episodes. Hopefully, we've made some new friends. And I had my first Tagalog lesson on Monday, so in the next few weeks, hopefully, I should do an episode in Tagalog. That's my challenge.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you know what would be a good video if you and me had a Tagalog off. So who knows? You put a word on the screen and you shout out who says it first.
Let's do that. Let's do that. I'm all for that. Anyway, guys, in the meantime, thank you for watching. Please share. Please join our social media. And thanks to everyone. Maraming salamat po. We're all going to wave. We've been instructed by our technical team, who's absolutely awesome. And we're going to bid you goodbye now. Maraming salamat po. And of course, mabuhay Pilipinas.
Thank you.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you. So you can be there for them.